Jesus critiques them about their lack of belief. In verse 25, he said to them, "How foolish you are and how slow to believe all that the prophets have spoken." They were slow to believe. They had the necessary knowledge up in their heads. But that didn't come down to a belief in the heart. We all know that, a healthy life is you gotta eat healthy and you gotta not be sedentary, right? There's nobody who is grown in America that doesn't know that. We all know that. But that can remain just a head knowledge, right? We know it. But until we believe it, it's completely useless knowledge. We know about it. That's great. But at some point, it's got to come down to belief in the heart. Hidden in this passage is an example of profound knowledge that the disciples had that they did not believe. Let me read it for us. Verse 21, "And what is more, this is the third day since all this took place. In addition, some of our women amazed us. They went to the tomb early this morning, but didn't find his body. They came and told us that they had seen a vision of angels who said he was alive. Then some of our companions went to the tomb and found it just as the women had said, but they did not see Jesus." These two disciples had a knowledge of the empty tomb of Jesus Christ. Ladies and gentlemen, the empty tomb of Jesus Christ is the number one evidence of the resurrection of Christ. It is the number one evidence. Anybody could have said anything about Jesus being raised up, but if the tomb of Jesus was occupied, all the Pharisees at that time needed to do was throw open the doors and say, "Nope, there's the body. Your claims are wrong." Even 50 days later, on the day of Pentecost, when Peter stood up and gave his speech publicly and said, "Jesus Christ is raised again," the Pharisees could have gone and showed the rotting body of Jesus. But the tomb was empty. And the disciples knew it. Not only did they know of the empty tomb, there were two sets of witnesses that corroborated that knowledge. There were the women that went first, and then some disciples that went later and corroborated that event. In John chapter 8, verse 17, Jesus told the Pharisees, "In your own law it is written that the testimony of two witnesses is true." If two independent groups of people report on the same thing, it is likely to be more true than not, is it not? In the unfortunate incident of the accidental shooting of Miss Hutchins by Alec Baldwin, the Los Angeles Times reports on the final words of the victim. Okay, so the Los Angeles Times reports on the final words of the victim. Alex Blair in entertainment movies is reporting on that report. And this is what he writes. "Most parts of the Times account of the events inside that church just south of Santa Fe and of the chaotic production that preceded them were corroborated by at least two people." You see, it gave credence to what happened that day when two different independent sources confirmed the same event. They had knowledge. These disciples had knowledge, but they did not have the belief.